Devon, I want to ask about the defense in front of you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like last year's playoff series, Syracuse generated so much offense on tips, deflections at the net front. I just don't think they're getting that same volume of chances. Would you agree?
100%. I feel like next game they're probably going to be a little bit more intentional about that stuff because it's a lot of their offense comes from that. They're really good at it too. But it's tough. I guess it's tough for them because our D's doing a great job boxing out, getting under sticks. They definitely tried getting a few tips, and they got a couple. But I think that our D are kind of limiting that. It's obviously one of their staples, and I think we're ready for that. Like they know everything about us, we know everything about them. It's just who's a better matchup. Who's got a better pre-scout. So it's been good. It's been fun. They obviously know we're a highly skilled team, and we know that they like generating, second chances off of tips and rebounds and screens. And they do have skilled players that could, generate off the rush and in zone. So it's been a great series, but yeah, our defense definitely have been making a big impact.
Seems like organizationally, I think the DZone structure changed going into this season from where it was a year ago. Have you noticed that, and has that at all been a byproduct of having a great season that you have?
What do you mean?
Like the way in which the DZone operates, I think for both Buffalo and Rochester, seems a little different than what it was a year ago. Like organizationally, they want the D playing differently. Has that helped you this year?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, system work's important for a team. It's not the do-all be-all, but it has 100% helped in the D-zone. I feel like everyone knows where to be, what to do. And, obviously it's hockey. You got to make a read and still be able to, be flexible. But 100%, like coaches have been doing a great job at, instructing what the D-zone is. And, it's been super effective. I feel like, we're a team that has good depth, good in the D-zone, good in the O-zone. It's a special group. You can't really ask for much more. On paper, we have the team. We just gotta, it's up here and being able to perform consistently on a nightly basis. Lean into adversity. The systems will only help so much. At the end of the day, you're out there and it's war, and it's hockey. There's a lot of things that happen out there that system work won't correct, or it might mitigate some things, but you still got to go out and play. And as much as great as our systems are, we still know that against Syracuse, it's not the system work that's gonna win us the game. It's the heart, it's the compete, it's the will to win. So that's kind of the focus going into next game.
You had 2 wins in the playoffs last year. You have 2 this year. How much have you changed from last year's playoff series, or learned from last year's playoff series that you apply now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think every game as a goalie that you have under your belt is another experience. I learn from all my games, the wins, the losses. The more I get to play, the more I see, the more I understand. And I'm just trying to be a sponge like last year in the playoffs, just trying to understand, what makes me tick, what gives other teams success. Seeing these guys play a lot, I also have a good feel of, a Syracuse game. And it's been great. I feel like I like being in these mini series because you get one opponent and you get to pre-scout them and kind of know what they want to do. And it's really a game of cat and mouse because you could know what they want to do and they could expose you because of it, or you could be successful because of it. And being able to make adjustments on the fly. You know what their power play is, but when they change their power play, you got to adjust. Little things like that are like the little fun mental games within a series.
Talk about all the systems and the adjustments, but you talk about it is just hockey, and it's ramped up because it's a playoffs. Are there ever times when you just have to simplify things and realize for you it's just stopping the puck?
Yeah. I go back sometimes to when I started out as a kid, and I didn't know any of the things that I knew now, but I was still able to stop the puck. So it's how much obviously the experience and these things that you learn, the technical side of the game helps your foundation, but it's how valuable really is that? Is that 100% of what makes you you? And the answer is no. You go back to when I was a kid and I was just playing street hockey out there and I was able to make saves. So there has to be a balance for sure. You know, that work and that experience is important, and relying on that is important, but also being able to let go of everything you know and just play hockey and kind of let your instincts take over is super important too, because your instincts have been developing since you're a little kid, and it's not conscious, it's subconscious, and just letting those, you know, guide you is also a skill.
Talks about it, you being a student of the game, you know how important NHL, AHL, college, what a hot goalie can do for a postseason run. Is that something you think about? That's a sense like you want to be the guy. You want to be the reason that you guys win every game. Is that maybe something you think about outside the rink?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that being hot is an outcome of doing the right things. So, you know, just focusing on my process, trusting that I do the right things, that eventually I'll get there. You know, we have a lot of hockey, and you're bound to fall into the pocket, fall into flow if you just let it happen. It's really easy to kind of grip the stick and try really hard to get there, especially in playoffs. You know, you want to be the guy, you want to be the reason the team's having success, and that's a good thing. But that needs to be balanced with, you know, faith in your teammates that even if you're not at your best, you could still win a game. That allows you to kind of, you know, play freely and find that pocket. So it is important to have both those things, but it's a balance, which is kind of that middle ground in which, like, as a team, you could have team success when you rely on each other.
Changing anything. Regular season, playoffs, doesn't change anything. And it's a little different for you as a goalie, because I asked Yavo and Metza the fact of knowing not to change anything, but understanding the desperation that Syracuse is going to come out. You can't lay a hit. You can't go out and make a play on score a goal. But what's that like, knowing you're going to face a very desperate Syracuse team tomorrow for you as a goalie?
No, that's definitely the challenge of being a goalie. You can't impose yourself on the game. You're kind of just at the mercy of whatever happens in front of you. So, you know, as a player, it's a little different. You don't like your shift. You don't like what's going on. You could kind of like go and impose yourself, and that's something as a goalie that, like, you gotta sit with your thoughts. Like, you can't really do anything about them. Like, you can't go and release that energy that's being pent up inside. You got to be able to kind of navigate it and just be okay with it and still be able to focus and play. And, you know, I know that they're going to be coming out. They're going to be coming out strong, and it's a challenge. It's great. I'm really excited for it. It's something that, you know, you want the other team's best, and Syracuse is a really good team, and they're 100% going to be desperate, and we're going to get their best hockey. So it's a question of how are we going to respond to that? What are we going to bring to the table?
Sunlight on Saturday, you can't talk about the shirt. I'm not asking you to talk about the shirt. What does the shirt, though, mean, and the saying mean to you and this team?
Yeah. It means be a gamer. Like, getting back to, like, that system work. Like, it's all great. We all put in a lot of hard work, you know, to you know, have our systems and have our game plan. But at the end of the day, when you're out there, you got to be a gamer, and you got to find a way to win. And that's what this means. It doesn't look like it's what it means. It looks like it's something that shouldn't be said, but it just means be a gamer, and just go and get the job done. You can't teach that. That comes from inside, and it's just buy-in from the group.